Hello, and welcome to The Day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I am Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. We've got a new format. It's called Pioneer. I'm finally learning to say Pioneer instead of Frontier. Jake, are you proud of me?
And confirm he's finally learning how to say Pioneer instead of Frontier.
What we have done is gone through each of the sets that will be legal in this format, and we have picked our personal choices for sleeper picks. Before we get going, though, if you wouldn't mind hitting like, hitting subscribe on the video down below. Jake has a caveat, though.
If you're here to just watch and you're not logged in, we don't want to make you go do work. Just
Absolutely.
Sit back, relax, enjoy the vid. But if you are logged in, just click a button for us, please.
It would really help us out. Let's talk about Theros. Jake, we've got Theros sleeper picks here. Real quick before we get into it, I want to talk about how we developed this list. We picked cards that are not the obvious choices. So if you're coming here to see some
Thoughtseize.
Right, if you're coming here to see Thoughtseize, it's not on this list. We are aiming at cards that are currently under the radar, in our opinion, and are around $1 or less currently, but have potential to go up.
Yeah, and some of these cards might be above $1. I mean, obviously we're going to talk about Ashiok Nightmare Weaver, but these are cards that are low, and they have a lot of potential.
Yep, absolutely.
To be played.
The first one here is right behind us, Anger of the Gods. 3 to each creature, exile them if they die. Tell me how better it can get. It can.
It really can't, especially as we see more and more cards with die effects. Anger of the Gods absolutely hoses those effects. This is a great cleanup card. It was wonderful when it was in Standard. It is played in Commander. It's even played in a little bit in Modern as well. And I'm not surprised to see it. I mean, like when in Modern, when you have to play against something like Kitchen Finks,
right? Like
this is a card that gets rid of it. So anything that does well in Modern is likely going to do well in Pioneer.
Yep, absolutely. It might be a sideboard card, but here is definitely a sideboard card. Mistcutter Hydra can't be countered. Haste Pro Blue, Expel just like any sweet Hydra is. This is in the green sideboards, period.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it's and it's funny because it's like a 35-cent card, and I just remember this card being so important when it was in Standard.
Right.
And it gets bigger as the game goes on. So it's one of those cards where it's like, okay, let's just get in now early, or it's like, okay, let's get in late and let's close the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving past that, we got Selvin Caryatid. I'm not sure. Caryatid. Well, This card is awesome. We know that 2-cost mana dorks are huge. They're even better if they can't be removed the turn that they're played. Jake, you got a Sylvan Caryatid Defender Hexproof, which is the most important part of this card.
Oh, I need to move. Sorry, everybody.
No, yeah, you got an 0-3 down there.
It's a 0-3.
But then the second most important part is add 1 mana of any color. You've got a Bird of Paradise 0-3 for 1 extra mana that carries Hexproof. I don't see how this isn't played,
It was a beast when it was in Standard. I mean, I feel like a lot of the cards here that we're talking about were very good in Standard when they were played, and I will not be surprised when we start seeing this card pop up in decks again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm personally going to be trying to build Leyline of Abundance, so that card will definitely be in it.
Oh yeah,
Ashiok Nightmare Weaver. So this is like Ashy Boy here.
This is like a 5 or 6 cost card, or $5 or $6 card right now, and oh man,
it gets added to the list of 3-cost planeswalkers to deal with in this format. It joins Teferi Time Raveler, it joins Oko, it joins Narset, in being cards that are going to be played, and they're going to be powerful, especially when they're all combined and you've got a Planar Beacon and you drop a late Sorin and they all turn into 4/4 dragons and fly over. I mean, this card is applicable in that type of deck, and it's got versatility to be applicable in other types of decks.
So just imagine it playing alongside like your 3-drops are Thief of Sanity, Nightveil Spectre, and this.
Right. And
the whole deck is just, we're exiling your library, we're playing all of your stuff. Like, that's 12 cards right there that do it. That's not even really thinking about the deck. But this is like, this card, I hate to beat the drum again, but it was a card that was insane when it was in Standard. It was played a little bit in Modern, but not very much. but in an abbreviated modern format like Pioneer is, I really feel like this card is going to make a splash.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't doubt it at all. Now, here's one that's interesting for me. It seems a little slow for a format. It's definitely too slow for Modern. It's obviously not played there. But during each other player's untap step, it allows you to untap, and creature cards can be played as though they had flash. I mean, it sounds like it could be relevant. Wilderness Reclamation has been one of the biggest decks of the last year, in Standard anyway. Yeah. And so we know effects like this have a lot of viability.
Now, obviously, this card, you know, if you, I don't know if you watched the previous video where we talked about Sylvan Primordial, this card is going to get the most value in multiplayer formats.
Sure.
But just because it isn't Commander doesn't mean that this card isn't, you know, there's a lot of ramp in this format. So if we get to, you know, Gilded Goose, Elvish Mystic, you know, we're playing Prophet of Crufix on, you know, I don't know, alongside Oko, maybe even turn 3. Yeah. So this is a pretty serious card here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things it's got going against it, in addition to its mana cost, is that it is a 3-butt. I think it's got more viability, at 4-butt, simply because you're going to have Lightning Strike, you're going to have Anger of the Gods. There's going to be a lot of ways to remove a 3-butt creature, but you know, we'll see. And like we said, we're picking sleeper picks here, ones that may not be on other people's radars. This, however, is one that's going to be on people's radars, because I know that you know, Professor, for example, and the legions of merfolk lovers, they're going to try and build merfolk in this format, and there's going to be viability to it, because we've gotten a lot of good merfolk sets since Return to Ravnica has come out, and so it joins all the other tribes in having much more viability to possibly see a tribal deck emerge.
Yeah, it's oh man, this card is really good. It was played in Modern a little bit, in Merfolk and Devotion. Like, this is going to be in a mono blue deck. It's only like $2 right now. It's a mythic. It's a card that is like tested, and I don't know, dude. I think it's a sleeper. I really think it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got some viability. Interestingly enough, elemental creatures you control get +1/+1. We just had a huge batch of very powerful elemental cards come in with Core Set 2020.
That's true. That's true.
You know, we know that Risen Reef is one of the most powerful cards, ramp-wise, early game cards in a long time. And so Master Waves, you know, there's interaction there.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I want to brew with it.
Yeah.
And I don't even like blue.
I think it could be cool. That is going to do it for the Theros sleeper picks this time around. We appreciate you watching so much. We've got a Patreon if you want to support us further. We're streaming twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays over on Twitch. I'm tapped out.
And we've got more stuff to cover.
Make sure you check out the other videos in this series. We've covered we're going to cover all of the sets that are going to be legal for our sleeper picks. Appreciate you watching.